North-South Connection Podcast Network fans, welcome into Extreme Three-Way Dance. Most violent menage a trois violence you'll ever violently witness. JT, Jenny, Matt, we are here taking you through the history of ECW. How are you guys doing?
They
Vi-
violently witness? How's
There's a
that?
lot of there's a lot of
Violence.
violence you said there.
Mhm.
We're
Violent
living
menage a
dangerously.
trois.
We are.
Much
Oh,
violent.
yeah.
In 1998.
Right.
That's really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I don't know
we're
why.
here
Probably the
to talk about
ozone
it.
and different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's a dangerous time. We're here talking about it, though. It's another pay-per-view. It's our fourth already. Fourth pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fourth. Here we are, Asbury Park,
Mhm.
New Jersey tonight. We've been talking all about the build and the hype. If you are listening, we welcome you in and let you know we're also on video. If you go to YouTube and search North South Connection, you can watch a lot of our podcasts in video form. And we also have a lot of exclusive video only content as well, usually quicker hit lists and different kinds of games that we do in addition to our longer form podcast. So to subscribe, the button is below if you are watching, or just head over to YouTube and do that. And this way you get all the notifications of our content. That said, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. We cold open as Taz is pulling up to the arena in his car. March 1st, 1998. Everything is pitch black and closed. Taz stomps into the building, looks around, and says he is ready. So, implication is that he's here well before building open to prepare for his main event match with Bam Bam Bigelow. Joey Styles in the ring. The Asbury Park crowd is hot and rowdy. There's signs everywhere. We get a loud ECW chant. And maybe, just maybe, for the first time since Barely Legal, we have a great pay-per-view vibe in the arena. We'll see. The last two have been shaky in Fort Lauderdale and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little bit closer to Philly, so you would imagine a lot of the same fans made the quick
Mhm.
drive over to Asbury. Joey officially kicks off the show. We get our opening animation and then head right to the ring for our opening match, which features Chris Chetty and Jerry Lynn taking on our favorites, the FBI, doing our dancing, coming in,
Mm-hmm.
little disco, also setting up, excuse me, our Italian lesson of the week. Tonight's word, or words, it's actually a phrase this week.
Mm-hmm.
Kete Pozzino Amazza.
I'm gonna need you to say that at least.
I'm
three
going to
more
need you to
times.
turn the music down. I can't hear you.
All right, hang on.
There you go.
All right. Kete Pozzino Amazza.
Kate Patino.
You're gonna have to say it again.
Kete Pozzino Amazza.
Kate Posino Amatsa.
Posino?
That's what I heard.
Cosino.
Pozzino. Kete
Pozzino.
Pozzino Amazza.
Bozino. I see.
Pozzino, yes. It means you shall be butchered. So I thought that was fitting for
Wow.
a night of violence.
Wow. Okay.
Living dangerously.
Jeez. Violent.
Shall be butchered. Yes.
Well, it's going to be way dirtier.
You
than
stole me lira. Kete Pozzino Amazza.
Who can
All right,
forget when
FBI
Fredo
dance
said
out.
that?
The show's rolling. Also, as part of the show, we have the old school elevator ramp, which looks really cool. It adds kind of an old school vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Smothers is dancing. Tommy Rich bounces around. Joey says Rich thinks he's still NWA champion. Joey calls out Joey calls out Tracy's son Kyle Smothers' birthday. He says Kyle's a good Italian name. Interesting opener here. It's a good showcase, perhaps, as Lynn has been a bit missing over the past month. Good spot for Chetty. Joey takes his usual shots at WCW for Mr. JL and the mask hiding Lynn's talent. Guido and Chetty start off. Chetty sticks and moves, keeps Guido rocking, grabbing a 2 count and a leg lariat. Chetty works the arm. Guido goes to the eyes and tags Smothers. Lynn comes in now. He works the arm. Lynn heats up with a flurry, gets 2 on a sunset flip. We get a series of reversals to a Lynn crossbody for 2. The FBI stooge a bit. We get cleaned out onto the floor where Lynn meets him with a dive off the top. Chetty finally gets swarmed over, and the FBI get to work with some double team offense. The FBI are pouring it on with quick tags and a simple attack. Chetty hangs in, but the FBI is all over him with an efficient assault. The crowd is engaged They're rallying Chetty as the FBI pour it on. Chetty hits a double jump drop kick to Smothers, but he can't make the tag. Chetty fights through a double team. He tags Lynn, who cleans house. The FBI hit a double flapjack, but they can't finish. All four start to brawl as Rich comes in, hits Smothers with the flag by accident. Lynn covers for the win. Smothers and Rich argue. Smothers slugs down the Don. Rich walks off as Guido and Smothers regroup. This is a fun opener. It was a simple tag with good pacing. Engaged the crowd and energized them. Did its job, didn't overstay its welcome, just got things rolling. A well-executed classic tag formula. I liked Lynn and Chetty winning. It's the right call. The FBI, if they can stooge and scuffle, doesn't really matter. 2.5 stars, Jenny. I thought it was a perfectly fine opening match.
I actually really like this. Jerry Lynn is going to elevate any of your matches, especially in the opener. I think he just brings that. And just like that ridiculous flag that was brought to the ring. These guys, I mean, they're so fun. I just thought this whole match was fun. The well-paced, crisp. I mean, it's a low-key dream match, if I'm being honest. But I like the double team moves by the FBI. I like the quick tags. They worked it well. And I like the really awesome hot tag to Jerry Lynn for him to clean up and eventually get the pin. Perfect ending. I loved it. 2 3/4 stars. Matt?
Yeah, I went 2.5 on it. Nice to me, the perfect team review. Get crowd going right away. I thought it was really well done. Chetty and Lynn getting the win makes perfect sense. Give the younger team a bit of. I thought it was. So yeah, a really solid way to open the show and unadvertised match, which was quite a surprise for me. So good to see that. So yeah, 2.5 for me.
Yeah,
all right, Joey notes that we have
this match.
Right, it's a big selling point.
It is. Put 'em on the poster.
Joey notes that we have not seen Wing Kanemaru in the building all day, but we get the video package anyway for Kanemaru versus Masato Tanaka. So we're going to do some digging into Wing's location. We then have Lance Wright, Doug Furnace out to the ring as Joey wants to know what's going on. Where's Kanemaru? He wants to know, but he gets no answers. So Lance Wright grabs the mic. He says Tanaka is supposed to face Kanemaru tonight, but he has a plan as always. His associates in Stanford, his buddy Vinnie Mac, have bought out Kanemaru's contract and told him to stay in Japan because he has someone else to put Tanaka on a plane back to Japan as well, and that is Doug Furnace. Brings us to our next match, which is Masato Tanaka taking on Doug Furnace. Tanaka's out. Joey resets us. Joey says he has a page and a half of notes about Kanemaru, thanks to his friends Tim Whitehead and Mike Johnson of the Daily Lariat. He can throw those away now. Joey talks up Tanaka's resume as he shows off an FMW flag. We set off with a series of shoulder blocks. Tanaka targets the back with a low drop kick. Joey says Tanaka turned down Wright's offer as Furnace hits a snap power slam. Furnace kicks away, lands a drop kick. Tanaka gets a dragon screw leg whip. He starts to work the leg from there, slowing it down. Tanaka gets a great leaping forearm and running splash to the corner, followed into a swinging DDT for 2 that almost turned ugly. Tanaka gets a running Spicoli driver for 2. Furnace lands a strike and powerbombs Tanaka right on his neck for 2. Furnace hits a release German and drops Tanaka on his head. He covers, but Wright tells Furnace to get up and do more damage. Furnace hits a Frankensteiner. Wright again breaks up the cover by barking at his boy. Furnace is annoyed, and Tanaka blocks a Frankensteiner and wins with a roaring elbow. Wright gets in the ring. He says the WWF owns Furnace, and he could be a legend and a winner and a WWF superstar, but he's going to go tell Jim Ross and Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon, and Furnace is never going to work Raw again. Wright grabs Furnace, and Furnace hits him with a clothesline, pulls an ECW shirt off a guy at ringside and puts it on himself and tells Vince to kick his ass. And that hopefully means that this angle is dead. If Doug Furnace is out, then hopefully we're done. It's become full low-level cheap heat. I thought the match itself was messy. There was no cohesion. Furnace looked to step off. The whole thing was kind of awkward. Like you could tell probably it wasn't the planned match, and these guys weren't really on the same page. I guess Kanemaru just no-showed or something happened with his flight. The final sequence was awkward too. The crowd booed the stutter step into the finish. The right stuff is dumb too. Just an ugly night for Furnace. Hopefully Tanaka gets another crack to show off because this was not it. Man, I went 2 stars. I was disappointed because I was really looking forward to seeing Tanaka tonight.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was super disappointed by this. I actually went lower than you. I only went 1 3/4 on this. Just super disappointing. These guys just didn't mesh well. And I mean, I get it. I'm assuming, like you said, this wasn't the plan. Like Kanemaru just no showed or had flight trouble or something. And there was miscommunications all over the place in this one. So, and I also thought like if this, now that you knew Kanemaru was going to be out and this was the match, I feel like this should have just been a squash with Tanaka just fucking killing him in like 2 minutes. Like, there's no way this should have gone like 5 or 6 that it did. So, yeah, rough outing for Tanaka, rough debut for Tanaka. So, hopefully he picks it up soon because this wasn't it. So, 1 3/4 for me on this, Jenny. Super disappointing.
1 3/4.
Yeah.
Well, I may have overrated it some. I did 2.5. I don't know. The crowd was a little dickish sometimes, but I thought they stayed in it more than probably in any other ECW crowd would have. They stay good all night. The crowd really does. But I don't know. Lance Wright is hopefully done for after this, so that's why I bumped it up a little bit. Basically, not for the match, but for Furnace saying I'm done with this shit and stealing a T-shirt and leaving Wright in the ring. So that was the part that I enjoyed.
Joey's in the nest. He says pay-per-view companies have blocked ECW for running a dueling Canes match live on pay-per-view. It was taped earlier.
What?
It'll be on the home video. They'll show what they can on TV, so we'll see more about that. Joey runs down all the great matches still to come, and then in comes Jason and Nicole Bass. They demand Joey play a tape. Joey caves and plays it. The tape shows Tommy arriving at the building earlier with his dog, but no Beulah. Jason says Beulah has left Tommy to join them, and Bass threatens Joey again. So, I don't know. Furthering this angle we talked about in our last episode that kind of came out of nowhere. Is Beulah joining Just Incredible? We'll see. I don't know.
Who's the dog siding with?
Can Beulah not drive herself to the arena? Why does she need to be there this early? This is dumb. This is dumb. Nobody
Hopefully
believes
Chris
this.
Jericho doesn't run the dog over. As he would years later. All right. To the ring we go for the next match, which is Too Cold Scorpio, recently having returned here, taking on Rob Van Dam. RVD has a Louis 90210 airbrush shirt.
What the hell is that?
Tribute to Louis Spicoli, I'm guessing, but was he from Beverly Hills? I don't know. I meant to look. I'm going to look it up quick. I don't think he was, but
I have no
I
idea.
didn't really get the reference at all.
Unless it was like an inside joke or something.
Well, he's from LA, San Pedro, LA, California. I don't know if that zip code is 90210 there. I don't think so, but so maybe he's close enough to Beverly Hills that it was the joke, I guess. Anyway, old school ECW classic war potential here. Scorp dances out. Fonzie's announced as the VP of Extreme Affairs of the World Wrestling Federation. We start with a lockup and easing in, trading up base holds and breaking free by both. Eventually, Scorpio kicks RVD to the floor, regroups, and comes back. We light up with a test of strength stalemate. Scorpio kicks RVD back outside and follows, shooting him from railing to railing and slugging away. RVD tries to fight back in, but gets stun gunned on the railing. RVD recovers. He peppers on the floor using a railing as well. Back inside, RVD hits a slingshot leg drop for 2. Scorpio tackles him and slugs away. Scorpio eats a boot on a charge. RVD meets him with a spin kick. Hits another off the top for 2. Crowds get a little restless as this ambles along. RVD gets a rolling thunder for 2, piles on his usual offense, but Scorpio keeps staying alive. Scorpio dodges a splash, comes firing back, throws RVD with a release powerbomb that pops the crowd. Scorpio hits the leg drop and his slingshot 450, struts around. Scorpio folds RVD with a back suplex. He goes up top and hits a big splash for 2. Scorpio gets a top rope moonsault for 2, but RVD punches him down off the middle rope. RVD eats knees on the frog splash. Scorpio slams RVD, gets a somersault leg drop off the second rope for 2. Scorp misses a splash in the corner. RVD kicks him down. Slams Scorpio, hits a split-legged moonsault for 2. RVD gets a Rana. He kicks Scorpio outside and follows. They head back down the ramp. RVD hits the Van Daminator. Scorpio recovers with a pile driver on the ramp. Hits him with a second one. Back in the ring, RVD goes low. The ref gets wiped out in a scrum, but RVD kicks Scorpio down and heads up. He tries a 450, but Scorpio dodges and he crashes hard. Scorpio gets a powerbomb. He heads up top. It's a 450, but the ref is down. So Sabu comes out. It's an Arabian facebuster. RVD gets 2. Sandman comes down and chases off Sabu with the cane. Scorpio then hits a Pele kick, but RVD gets a victory roll and steals the win. RVD gets the mic. He says it was a great experience for both guys, but better for him. Scorpio gave him a hell of a match, gives Scorpio the chance to shake his hand, but RVD pulls it away. Scorpio says he'll be the better man. He'll shake RVD's hand, and they do that. Scorpio admits that RVD was better tonight, but then he clotheslines him and kicks away. Sabu makes a save, and him and RVD beat down Scorpio until Sandman comes back again, saves his old friend. He takes Sabu off the top with a Rana through a table. They were hurt. RVD and Sabu take off. Scorpio grabs the mic. He says he loves ECW. He loves his buddy Sandman, offers him beer, and they drink and they dance, just like the old days. Former champions. Again, I thought this was a weird match. It felt a little out of sync and slower than you would expect, and the crowd ended up not engaged as a result. RVD seems to be trying to pace it up, but it took a while to get there. Scorpio just takes forever between his big spots. Just hits one, stalls. By the time he gets up, it just felt like a disjointed back and forth. The end was good. The crowd woke up for it. Just up to that point, it was slow. And I think expectations probably didn't help as well. They just seem like they're on different match pages. A good win for RVD. The usual Sabu help. Scorpio's a good addition back, even though this one didn't click. It's still very good. The post match was good too, and we'll see if Scorpio and Sandman start to reunite a bit. So Matt went 3.5. It was a pretty good match, despite me kind of being down on. Expected this to really maybe go next level because RVD's been so locked in, and you thought maybe Scorpio would be kind of out to prove himself after the WWF shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I went 3.25 on it. This got a ton of time, and it felt like it took really forever to get going. And a part of me wondered if they had to add some time to this match because of Kanemaru not making the show. Like if it's Tanaka and Kanemaru, I'm wondering if that match goes like another 5 minutes or so, and they give them 10. Because it felt to me like they had 15 minutes of stuff in like a 20-minute match, and like the first 5 minutes or so was just super slow. I mean, once they got going, it was really good, but it just took a long fucking time to get there. But I mean, there was a lot of good stuff here, and I think, like you said, too, expectations for this, for me anyway, were super high. Like, you see these two guys on paper, you think this is going to be a banger. And I mean, it was still very good at 3.25, but it was still kind of underwhelming for me. And I thought the finish was a little wonky too, with the kind of the roll up out of nowhere. So it's an interesting match. It was very different from what I feel like we usually see out of these guys. But yeah, it was still pretty good for what it was. And I like the pile drivers on the ramp. I thought that was probably my favorite spot of the match, was those pile drivers. And you get Sandman and Scorpio dancing, which is always entertaining. So I went 3.25 for me, Jenny.
Well, here's another one I probably overrated, but I miss Scorpio. And that's just kind of how he is. Like, he's a slow wrestler. Like, he just is. Like, he needs that time between his shit, like, usually. And I just kind of expect that from a Scorpio match now. So the length was lengthy, but it didn't really bug me. I really enjoyed their chemistry. RVD, it is interesting to try to watch him slow down his pace, because he is very usually just bam, bam, bam. So I don't know. I liked a different paced match for him. Once again, Sabu thinks that if RVD is fighting, he's going to have to be fighting.
He's got his boys back.
Loyal. He's very loyal. I mean, and I feel like down the road, this is going to be something that is going to explode between them. But it's good because they will have definitely earned that by then. So, and then the post-match stuff, he's like, he wants to shake hands or whatever. And then Too Cold says, "I'll shake your hand even if you don't shake mine." I'm like, nope, probably not going to do that. How's that going to work?
Yeah.
Too Cold. I don't know. It took me
He's going to grab his hand and make him shake it.
I thought that's what he was
shake himself. But
he's going to take one hand and then use that hand to shake his other hand.
I wish he would have done that, is my point, because that would have been great. But I really loved Sandman and Scorpio drinking beer and dancing together by the end of the match. So I don't know. It was good stuff for me. I'm going to keep my 3.75. I almost changed it, but I'm not going to.
All right, we get a video package highlighting the recent issues with Lance Storm and Chris Candido. We go to the ring for a three-way dance in the tag division as the Dudley Boys take on Rotten Balls and New Jack and Spike Dudley. I guess another. I don't think they announced this one. They kind of hinted that New Jack would have a match, but
Mhm.
the Dudleys amble out. Gertner goes through a shtick at intros. Axel and Balls come out with their chairs. The brawl's on right away. All four guys throw down. Axel and Devon are in the ring. Bubba and Balls on the floor. They all trade shots. Balls empties a load of offense on Bubba, but misses a top rope leg drop. Bubba mashes Balls with a chair as Axel and Devon roll back in. Dick is in. He chokeslams Axel. Dudleys do all the New Jack pose, and of course, as usual, as soon as they hit the pose, Natural Born Killer starts up. Out come New Jack and Spike with a barrel of weapons they use right away to amp up the violence. Usual weapons madness. The music is blaring. The brawl goes down and out of the ring. Axel and Balls are ripped up good. Blood is flowing. Chair shots everywhere. They all matriculate their way back to the back of the building. Joey says, this is like watching porn. It feels dirty. And says, well, speaking of, Jenna Jameson is in the house. She's back, I guess. She's here.
Finally.
Jack and Spike go up to the balcony. They fly off through both Dudleys, through a table to a huge pop at a classic spot. That's kind of an iconic one. Balls and Axel pick apart the scraps. Back in the ring, Balls crushes Spike with a back suplex. Spike counters, puts Balls through a table with an acid drop. Bubba scoops him, press slams him on the floor into Axel, and the Dudleys finish Balls with a 3D, and they are done. Spike then comes in with an acid drop on Devon, and Jack gets a top rope chair shot and a good finish to win the match. Spike and New Jack are your victors. Standard showcase. It's just rinse and repeat mostly for the tag division at this point. It's just a plunder mess. The crowd loves it. It shows off on pay-per-view what ECW can do in this situation. But we need a big tag division shakeup. Like, this is just getting stale.
Yep.
It was a bit better than normal because of the heat and a couple of big spots. The finish looked good too. And the Dudleys, I mean, the Dudleys should have won this. Like, I know you want to give Spike and New Jack the moment, but the Dudleys, like, when are we getting going with these guys? Like, I feel like they kind of have a good few weeks and then they lose a match and just kind of stalling out. So, Jenny, I went 2 3/4, just the usual ECW tag plunder brawl.
Business as usual was my note really to start out. Matt, do you have any of the great Joel Gertner lines?
Do I have any of them? I got damn near all on file.
Let's hear all.
Let's see. He calls the crowd welfare recipients and homeless vagabonds. First of all, he then says that Gertner says Big Dick took such liberties with a guy in the crowd's mom that he is now his father in 17 states.
Jesus Christ.
Gertner says he's like milk and does a body good, and that his wit is more tongue-in-cheek than a lesbian orgy. He calls himself Joel. Your girlfriend has me on her speed dial because she loves the way I star 69 her, Gertner. And then when he introduces Devon, he says Devon is getting jiggy with it to his left. Weighing 169 pounds and is the super cruiserweight champion. And Bubba is Pamela Lee's brand new man, and he has seen the tape.
So, for those reasons, and the New Jack and Spike dive off the balcony, which was amazing, I gave this match 3 stars.
I also went 3 stars for a lot of the same reasons. Joel Gertner on fire, my God, probably the best we've seen out of him so far. Good Lord, and yeah, you get the iconic double balcony dive with New Jack and Spike Dudley, and I don't know. I didn't really mind New Jack winning here because I feel like New Jack could have used the win too. Like, I feel like it's been a while since he's won a match too.
But he's all over the place. He's with Cronus. He's with Spike. It's like Spike is with Mikey. It's like they're all. There's no cohesion in these teams. Like New Jack needs to win, but what's he doing? Like, is he with a tag team partner? Is he solo? It's just. I feel like we're just all over the place with all this shit.
No, I'm with you with the tag division needing a shakeup for sure, but I don't know. It kind of.
I just want to see the Dudleys push. Like they're the team that's been consistent. They've been here for three and a half years. Like, what are we doing? Like, just push them. Like, give them the belts and let them run. We're just I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, other than the fairly standard one of these weapons matches, but I gave it a bump for the iconic balcony dive and Joel Gertner 3 stars.
Joey's in the nest. He apologizes about Justin Credible and ECW super pushing him and justifying the push to critics by spitting on tradition and injuring wrestlers. We then get a video package highlighting Credible's rise. And then our ring announcer brings out the newest member of the ECW announce team, Jenna Jameson. She comes out and says she is ECW's newest reporter. She's going to do her first interview here tonight. She brings out Justin Credible, Jason, and Nicole Bass. Credible says normally wouldn't give Jenna the time of day. He's got Beulah on his jock and doesn't need her. Jason's eyes up Jenna, but Bass mean mugs Jason, and he walks off. Bass and stares down Jenna. Jenna shit talks Credible, so she'll interview whoever she wants, not who ECW said to. So she brings out Tommy Dreamer. Tommy comes out. He makes out with her. Jenna's all horned up after that, and Tommy walks to the ring. Joey says Tommy boldly went where every man has gone before. That was pretty funny. What do you think of Jenna's return here and making out with Tommy?
They must have needed more B-roll of her, is my guess. That's why they brought her back.
We're gonna reload the clips.
Yeah,
more like double D-roll.
My God, let's get another 2.5 years of footage out of this one appearance from Jenna Jameson. It was great that she was able to show off some of her porn acting skills during this scene too. I thought that was really well done.
Not even the good ones, but I mean, some of them. The kiss was dumb. I was very angry about that. But I mean, I guess if Jenna Jameson's standing there and you're Tommy Dreamer, you're gonna do that shit. But I don't know, not needed. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I don't really care about any of it, but it's fun. I care about Nicole Bass.
Well, she's here. She's not happy with Jason.
Nope.
I fucking Jenna. All right, to the ring we go for Tommy Dreamer versus Justin Credible. Dreamer's in. He's cutting through Credible with a flurry. Joey notes that Beulah's not here at all right now. We spill outside the ring. Jason cracks Tommy, throws him into the ring. Tommy hits both guys with a pescado. Tommy throws Credible into the railing, knocks him into the crowd, hammers away into the bleachers. Back to ringside, Dreamer drags Credible onto the ramp, loads up a DDT, but Credible shoves him off into the railing to finally stop his assault. Credible stomps away, shoves Tommy back in the ring. Tommy catches him on a crossbody, hits a fall-away slam. Tommy hangs Credible in the tree of woe, drop kicks a chair into his face. Tommy slams Credible and heads up top, but misses a splash. Credible hits a seated drop kick. He drop toe holds Tommy onto the back of an open chair. Credible puts a chair between the buckles, but Tommy turns the tide and gets a side leg sweep. Credible pops up and throws Tommy into the chair, hits a slop drop into it. Tommy comes back with some strikes and crotches Credible on the top rope. He shakes him off, and it's an airplane spin and a Spicoli driver for a near fall. Jason distracts Tommy. Credible hits him and hits That's Incredible and poses as Beulah comes strutting out wearing a neck brace. Beulah winks at Justin Credible, sashays around the ring and hugs him, but then, of course, low blows him. Jason comes in and Beulah kicks him in the nuts and hits a DDT. Nicole Bass comes in. She grabs Beulah in a bear hug and swings her around. Mikey hobbles out with his crutches as Bass lets go and her tit pops out. Mikey hops up onto Bass, hits a stunner to a pop. Credible crushes Mikey's air cast with a crutch, but Tommy comes firing back and DDT's Credible to win the match. This is pretty fun. They had a good flow. They chugged along. Tommy took a lot of offense, which made sense in the story. All the fuckery played in well at the end to keep the crowd into it. The Beulah thing was obvious, but whatever. Tommy playing some mind games. And the Mikey payoff was good as well. Credible can take a loss, given all the chaos that went on. Jenny went 2 3/4. And in retrospect, now the Beulah thing's fine because you can look back and say, okay, they were fucking with Credible. Beulah probably said, oh, I'm interested in coming along, and Credible used it. So, again, it's ECW maybe going too far with not explaining things when they're trying to treat fans smartly. This is one that could have maybe used a little bit more playing out.
Yeah, but
3/4 for the match.
Yeah, for me to believe it, you're gonna have to just put a lot more details. None of that shit was believable. So, I liked this. It has like I don't. Credible really felt like he really fell a peg. Like it felt like he had knocked down a peg, which is good. That's what we wanted to see. And I wish I could have seen Mikey's face when Nicole Bass's boob popped out because he runs in on his broken leg somehow, and it just pops out as soon as he gets there. And I don't know. I just spent a lot of time wondering what his reaction was going to be, but I liked this, and there's a lot more on the table with this story, and hopefully with some more, I don't know, more high caliber matches. Maddie, I did 2 3/4.
Yeah, I went 2.5 on this. It felt like it was definitely missing something for me. Like, I kind of wanted this to be more violent. And I know, I guess it was like their first match, so maybe they're going to build up to it. But they've already had a first blood match. So, I mean, if you've already had a first blood match, why not just beat the piss out of each other again on pay-per-view? It felt like kind of toned down from what, especially for Dreamer. Like, I feel like if this was at the ECW arena, this would have been a fucking bloodbath and Dreamer would have killed him and it would have, it would have been over and done with. So maybe they were toning it down a little bit because it's on pay-per-view and they're still kind of leery about showing the super extreme violence on pay-per-view. But, like, I don't know. It felt like it was missing something that I feel like this match would have had if it was held elsewhere, like a house show or something. It was pretty short, too. I think it barely went 10 minutes. So the finish was good, but the brawling before that I felt like was very paint by numbers. So, yeah, I only went 2.5 on it.
It was a microwave feud, too. Like, they did a good job heating it up, but it was not like a long, drawn out, like, credible torturing Tommy. He just did the thing where he mocked Grandpa Joe, and then we spent a couple weeks with Tommy trying to kick the shit out of him. So it didn't feel like a big elevation feud. It just felt like a nuisance for Tommy to kill him on. All right, Joey's in the nest. We get a Bigelow versus Taz hype package, and then Joey hypes up our next pay-per-view on May 3rd and wonders who will be the TV champion on that show. Because it is now time for our TV title match. I was surprised it actually wasn't last. I'll say that, especially given what happens. But here we go. It is Taz taking on the hometown boy, Bam Bam Bigelow. Bigelow marches out to that big pop, followed by Taz, who's stoic as ever, looking to wreck shit. We get a stare down. Taz grabs the arm, takes Bigelow down and rides him. Taz knocks Bigelow over the top with a clothesline. Bigelow clips the table and crashes hard. Taz follows out. He leaps off the apron, but Bammer catches him and throws him into the post. Bigelow throws Taz to the railing. We head back inside where he stomps away, hits a powerbomb for 2. Taz comes back with a lariat, tries a back suplex. Bigelow shifts on top of him for 2. Taz ducks the charge and dumps Bigelow onto the ramp. Taz follows and hammers away, hits a T-bone off the ramp and over the railing into the crowd in a just holy shit sick moment.
Yes.
Taz follows into the crowd. They trade blows in the fans. Back in the ring, Bigelow hits a DDT and a moonsault for 2, grabs a broken table and sets it up. Bigelow hammers and kicks away, loads a powerbomb, but Taz slips free. He flapjacks Bigelow through the table for 2. The crowd is rallying Bigelow as we head back to the floor. Taz punches a table shard into Bigelow. They continue to trade blows out there until Taz throws Bammer back into the crowd. Bigelow throws a chair at Taz, but he keeps slugging it out back to ringside. Back inside, Taz slips out of the greetings from Asbury Park, hooks the Taz mission by leaping on Bigelow's back. Bigelow's tapping, but before Finnegan can register it, Bigelow throws his weight back, and him and Taz collapse the ring, crashing through the ring mat to the floor in an all-time epic ECW moment. Bigelow crawls out of the hole. He pulls Taz with him, covers for the win, and a big pop to take home the TV title. A good slugfest with hard, heavy punches, some good table spots, and we get the 2 big crazy bumps, the one on the ramp with the railing and then the finish in the ring. A little slow, but it felt like a heavyweight fight. Just 2 hosses punching away. The crowd was into it, a good vibe in the hometown. The finishing bump was iconic. The crowd was in awe, and a good spot to finish the war, but also leaves room for more chaos between them as well. Matt, Bigelow gets the title at home and a good payoff. I went 3.5 for this match.
I'm right there with you, 3.5. Awesome Haas fight. Just great stuff all around. Hot crowd. You get Bam Bam, being in front of the hometown crowd, doing his thing. Crowd just losing their minds for it. That suplex to the crowd was insane, with Taz whacking the back of his head on the railing. Just a disgusting bump. How he was able to continue is insane, especially given his prior neck trauma, for fuck's sake. Like, what are you doing? Just insane spot. They kind of lost me a little bit when they did that extended crowd brawling in the second half of the match right before the finish. They kind of lost me a little bit there. I feel like if maybe they either shorten that or cut that out, I may have gone higher on that. But man, just an iconic finish too with the ring break. That might be the first time anybody's ever done that, right? I can't imagine anybody had done a finish like that beforehand, right?
No, I mean, we had Undertaker come out through the ring in like 96 and pulled Diesel in and that stuff. So I guess kind of, and I guess, well, Hell in a Cell hadn't happened yet, right? So that kind of does, but yeah, no, this is the first time they went through the ring. I mean, we've had guys come up through the ring, but
So it's a cool finish, and I mean, look, at this point, it probably takes something like that to have somebody beat Taz. So it's a unique finish too, and just a all-time iconic finish. So it kind of feels like the right time for Taz to drop the title too, because they've been kind of hinting at a match with Shane. He's been calling out Shane for the past couple of weeks, so it feels like maybe they're going to start pivoting in that direction. And I like that they kept the other triple threat guys out of this match too. They kind of had to just let Taz and Bam Bam throw bombs and fucking kill each other. So I also went 3.5 on it, Jenny.
Okay, so here's another one I overrated because I knew that Bam Bam was going to win this. I knew it. And I have questions about how they did the hole in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
How does one do that?
So I think they just remove
logistics.
It's at some point during the match, they go under, I think they remove the board that like supports the mat. So then there's nothing between the mat. That's it. So they just take away all the support from underneath. So there must have been someone under their ring crew or something that at a certain point cuts that board or whatever.
So when y'all were watching this match, y'all knew that was going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
So were you looking at that part of the ring like more like, did you notice that part of the ring? I know this is very niche. I'm just very curious about all the, I don't know how it actually happens.
Mm.
Anyway,
I wasn't looking forward to see it, but that is generally, I believe, what they would do.
Right.
Yeah.
They usually, there's wood underneath it. They usually either cut it or pull a board out, and so that way they can just fall.
Anyway, I did 3 3/4 stars because I love this match. I loved all the brawling, all the huge spots. It was just them two, like Matt said. We didn't have to deal with anybody else. And Taz just fucking got beat by big ass Bigelow. That schmuck from New Jersey kicked his ass. And with all that shit, I mean, I almost went 4 on it, and I had to back myself down. So.
We'll see how Taz handles this loss going forward as the triple threat.
Probably not well.
And it looks like they're going to have all the belts because the other two aren't on the line. So
I like that too. Very bloodline of
triple
them.
threat will have all the gold. All right, Paul E. Dangerously is in the nest. He tells Joey to buy some time as the triple threat celebrates in the wrecked ring. Joey says we were supposed to have Al Snow versus Cronus, but that will not happen now with the ring being broken. Paul comes back and says, let's go watch Sabu versus Sandman. And Joey says, the censors said we can't show that. Him and Paul yell at each other. Paul demands it. Joey caves, but basically blames Paul, saying, I'm not taking the heat for this. It's your call that we're going to air this match that the censors did not want us to air. Pretty fun way to go about it. Cover for the ring fix. Show this match from earlier on the pay-per-view, and also make it like, oh, Paul's hardcore and extreme, like going against the, we're still counterculture and all this, right? Renegades.
And then I have a question as to why this was not the Taz Bigelow was not the main event if they're going to destroy the ring
right.
Continue to have matches. I was like, that's why I had more questions. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. None of this makes sense to me. If
so you think it was accidental?
That's what I was wondering. I thought y'all would say that
so.
They didn't mean to bust it and that it was a shoot.
I don't believe so. I thought it was planned.
I think it was planned. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I think they just do it to make shit unpredictable, and again, look badass. Oh, we're gonna go against the censors and air this match anyway.
Works. It works. It better be badass.
Let's see. Sandman versus Sabu, dueling canes. Sandman's pacing the ring with a brew and a butt. Sabu charges in with a cane. Sandman catches him with his cane first. Sabu hits him in the back of the head with one. Sandman scoops up Sabu, stun guns him across the top rope. Sabu's headdress falls off, and we see it was actually Rob Van Dam.
God damn it, Rob Van. Y'all can't stay out of each other's matches.
He does do a good job, though, when he cosplays as Sabu, like because of his hair, kind of the way it hangs and everything. It looks good. Definitely tricky enough. Sabu comes from behind. He decks Sandman. RVD cracks Sandman with a spin kick. Sabu bashes him with a cane. Fonzie's barking orders. He sends RVD to the back for the rest of the match. RVD wants a high five. As Sabu starts to do it, RVD just turns and walks away. Such a good. Sabu works over Sandman with a cane. Sabu tosses Sandman on the ramp. Flies into him with a springboard plancha. Sandman rolls to the floor. Sabu meets him with another plancha. Sabu shoots Sandman to the railing. Sets up a table bridge on the rail. Sabu canes Sandman, puts him on the table and heads up top, flies into him with a splash. Back in the ring, Sabu hits an Arabian facebuster for 2, heads up top and misses an atomic Arabian facebuster. Sabu's up first. He pitches Sandman onto the ramp, walks into a back elbow. Sabu blocks a suplex, hits a DDT and a triple jump moonsault. Sandman tries to set up a table, but Sabu stops him. He hammers away, but Sandman slings him into the table, takes the ref down on the way. Sandman grabs the table and throws it at Sabu. Sandman puts Sabu on the table, but RVD saves. In the ring, RVD has a top rope kick as Jeff Jones shows up. Jones helps sets up a table. RVD hits a frog splash on a chair on Sandman's face. They put Sandman on the table on the ramp. They hit a stereo top rope leg drop splash to a huge pop. They roll Sandman in the ring, and Sabu covers to win after the crazy spot. So pretty usual wild brawl, these guys. Sabu dominated. Sandman took a shit kicking. Crowd was rabid. Very hard hitting, but I think they oversold the violence. They wanted to do the shtick to cover the broken ring. That was smart planning, but they also set inadvertent expectations that they didn't meet. I think it meant it was no worse than the usual stuff. Like, it was good, but I expected more. By the way, Joey kept hyping it, Matt. So I went 3.5. They used everything they had around them. It filled the time, but yeah, I just expected more.
Yeah, given all the hype that Joey was given about this match, I was expecting it to be kind of like the match we live watched, the house party match, where it's just a wild, bloody brawl with all kinds of
right. Yeah,
wire
we've seen worse. Yeah,
right. And I feel like if you already have a match like that, so if you're not at least equaling that or topping it, it's going to be disappointing. And that's kind of how I felt at this one. I still went 3.25 on it, but after what we saw in the arena where they're fucking bleeding out with a halo of barbed wire, it's anything after that doesn't reach that is going to be disappointing. But it was still a very good Sabu Sandman match. It was a quick sprint. It was like 10 minutes long, and everything looked great. It was super fun. The double leg drop through the table on the ramp, I thought was a really great finish. So I like that finish a lot. The RVD thing at the beginning was really well done too. I fucking thought it was Sabu, so I thought that was really well done. So yeah, it's a good match, but again, disappointing. And the format of this pay-per-view just kind of after Taz Bigelow, it's just super fucking weird that this was taped beforehand but aired later. Are we going to air it? Oh, we can't air it. We're going to air it anyway. It's super weird. It feels like they're trying too much at this point, and it's kind of I guess annoying, for lack of a better term. But so I went 3.25 on it. Jenny?
Yeah, I was very confused as to why this was in some sort of, they already recorded it. Like, nobody barely even bleeds. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? It wasn't even nearly as violent as they said it was going to be. I love the finish. And the dueling cane stuff didn't even really make it through most of the match.
Right.
Like, it was mostly tables after that.
Yep.
I loved Sandman just absolutely destroying Sabu with the table on the ramp. He just really swung that bitch and dropped it on Sabu. It looked awesome. I mean, but look, I mean, that's sort of standard. That's kind of what we do here. So it's not ultra violent. I still did the 3.5 because I really liked the match, but I was really expecting a little bit more color at least.
Right. Something. Yeah. Something. They overhyped it to do this.
Yeah. And Joey said, "Holy shit," at the end of the match. That was good.
Well, especially because nothing in here was worse than the ring breaking. Like, we already saw something crazier a minute ago. The finish was good, but so anyway. The ring still being fixed as the crowd is rocking the head pit, chanting loudly. Joey in the nest says Paul forced him to push the envelope and show that match against the censors. He apologizes for the argument and says he will quit if they get thrown off pay-per-view, and Heyman can take all the heat, not him and his office job. Joey's fired up. He says it was a stupid call. God forbid we follow the format I helped write. Why bother? The Al Snow match is canceled, but they're going to make the main event happen. And here we are. The ring is barely fixed. It's sagging in the corner. They got hazard tape on the ropes. Very sloppy shop. Someone's going to get hurt.
Very ECW.
We then get to that match. It is the Dream Tag Team Partner match. We know that Shane Douglas is Chris Candido's partner. He heads out first with Francine, and Francine's looking stacked. Candido grabs the mic, shit talks Storm, says he's curious about this dream partner, and that there are only 3 people that could beat up Candido: his grandfather Popeye John Richards, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Tammy at home. Storm heads to the ring. Big come up for him, main eventing on the pay-per-view. Sonny is with him wearing a big Ric Flair robe. Sonny says Storm's partner is not Grandpa or Bigelow. She's the partner. Sonny is in an absurd outfit. The crowd is into it, just all out. Storm flies into the ring, runs through both guys. Joey says, and this is the worst, Joey. I love Joey, but this is the worst, Joey, when he's overhyping shit so obviously that it's like, come on, Joey, you're supposed to be the smart man's announcer, right? Like everyone sees what's going on. Sonny, and we just did this with Beulah Incredible, so now we get two of these on the same show that are very obviously not going to happen. Like this is clearly a ruse by the Triple Threat, and Joey's overselling the oh, what a brilliant plan! Candido will never hurt Sonny. He's obsessed with her. His life revolves around her. Storm's beating up both guys. He tags in Sonny. Joey's overselling the plan. Francine comes in. She steps up to Sonny. They're arguing. Candido begs off. Storm gets to the ring and grabs Candido, but of course, Sonny hits Storm with a cookie sheet. She almost falls in the ring hole behind her. The most obvious turn ever, of course. The crowd is chanting for head as the Triple Threat is beating on Storm as Sonny and Francine embrace. Candido berates Storm on the mic. They slap him around. Candido asks Storm what he's going to give him, and Storm says he's going to give him head. Al Snow comes out to a big pop as Joey says Storm knew it was a ruse, and he was prepared and had Al Snow ready to go, which I could buy. This way, at least Storm doesn't look like an idiot. Only Joey does. The lights go out. They come on, and Al Snow's in the ring. He's using head. He hits a Douglas with a sit-out powerbomb. The crowd is throwing the foam heads in the ring as all for a brawl. Just a chaotic scene. Storm throws Candido outside. He flies into him with a plancha. Douglas and Snow battle as the camera keeps flipping upside down. The crowd is buzzing. Snow takes controlled punches, throws Shane through a hole in the ring. Storm grabs Douglas and shoots him to Snow, who hits the snowplow and pins the world champion in a huge moment. Storm and Snow celebrate as the heads fly around, and we fade out. This was more angle than match, but it was chaos. Snow is mega over. It looks shaky. Snow saved things. He's monstrously over. This headstorm stuff is wild. Just a crazy scene. A gold mine they've fallen into with this guy. Storm looked dumb until that swerve. So in the end, like it's okay. It worked out. But it was really close to being a disaster with the Sonny stuff before they bailed it out. Questionable way to close the show. To your point, Jenny, like why did they do this with Broken Ring? But I think they wanted to end with all the heads, and they knew it would be chaos and like Snow getting the big win over Douglas. And it ends up being one of the hottest ending that they have of a pay-per-view. And you could say the most effective all-around pay-per-view they've done so far. So I went 2.5, but again, it's more angle. And I think closing with this made sense. And actually, the Broken Ring ended up adding to the vibe of chaos in this shit show they got going on. So I thought that was well done, too. It was just like madness. So I don't know. I liked it as an angle. The match was nothing, whatever. But once Snow came out and it all came together, it made sense. But for a minute, it just looked stupid. And I don't think they should have done the Beulah thing earlier either. I think that made this seem more ridiculous on the front, especially with Joey buying into it after we just saw the same ruse an hour ago. You know?
Yeah. I'm just that maybe they don't realize that women could do other things probably in a storyline. I don't know, but this was good. I did the 2.5 as well. I've wondered how the hell they going to work this fucking match when a quarter of the ring is caved in, and poor Sonny almost just broke her leg in that bitch. Fell right in there. I really liked when they had Storm just holding him back, and he was holding Candido holding the mic up to him, kind of hitting him in the face with it. And then he's like, I'm going to give you head or whatever he had. That was awesome. It was a great reveal, and the crowd went nuts. And I did too. It was awesome. And who did y'all think was hotter, Francine or Sonny?
Sonny on this night.
Yeah, I think Sonny. It's close, but it's Sonny.
It's
and that ring gear was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, for them both, but yeah, I would lean Sonny as well. So 2.5 for me, Matt. Fun shit, very ECW.
I went 2.5 on it too. It's a tough thing to rate because it's barely a match. It's like 5 minutes long. It's so chaotic. There's a lot happening in a short period of time too. But I think, to your point, I think they wanted the visual of the rave with the lights going off, the heads all over the place, the crowd throwing the heads in the ring, because it's a hell of a visual every time they do it. So it's crazy to do it. And you have the big moment with Snow pinning Shane. So I'm guessing Snow is due for a title shot now at some point, which that could be completely fucking insane. So it's a weird way to end the pay-per-view, but it did work, and the visual of the caution tape around the ring fucking popped me. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a visual.
Well, and leaning into Snow, like he's hot, ride it, right? Like this is what they should do. He suddenly got crazy over, I mean, he's still a WWF guy, so they're going to call him up at some point. You know what's happening with him being this over. So, like, I think speed rushing him to the top of the card and getting a title match out of him before he's gone makes sense, because they're going to come calling at some point.
Now. You got to strike
So
now before they come calling. So it makes perfect sense.
And there's no one else. Like, no one else is really lined up for Douglas anyway.
Right.
It's not like he has like a ready-made feud.
Well,
so.
Taz.
Well, he's still got Bigelow stuff going on. I mean, we don't know if he's ready, if he's going to be done with that yet anyway.
And I don't think you can't quite run Lance Storm and Shane Douglas on a pay-per-view yet, which, they've also been teasing. So having Snow do it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's more angle and match, like you guys said. So 2.5.
I mean, you always have Dreamer and Sandman sitting there, like if you really needed to rush someone up, or even RVD or Sabu, but they're all kind of tied up with shit. So
a lot.
Right, best match of the night for me, I ended up going Taz Bigelow. But only 3.5.
Yep.
Well, mine was the same match, but higher rating. I had a couple of those actually.
The worst match to me was easily Tanaka Furnace.
Yep.
I think I did that as well. Yeah.
Best moment, the Taz Bigelow ring break obviously is the most famous one. The Snow head rave was awesome. And then I didn't want to lose track of the New Jack Spike dive either, because that's like another big ECW moment.
Yeah.
I would say the dive.
I got to go with
more than the ring break.
Yeah, I like the dive a lot more.
Okay. Most 90s, I had a few. The pay-per-view companies blocking violent matches. Gertner references Getting Jiggy with It and the Pam Anderson sex tape.
It does.
Both incredibly 90s. Anything else there?
Jenna Jameson.
Yep.
Yep. I had her as part of my stock rising. I thought she was pretty good at it. RVD, Scorpio.
Yeah.
RVD, Scorpio, Jameson, Bigelow, Taz, Sabu, Snow, all had great nights.
Yep.
Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, why not? Falling, I went Furnace, Lance Wright, the Dudleys, and Nicole Bass's top, which fell off.
And Mikey's jaw.
Yeah.
All right, final grade. I liked the show. I went 7.5 out of 10. I think it's probably the second best pay-per-view so far, behind Barely Legal. You could even argue maybe it's a little better in spots, because Barely Legal, I know we weren't super high on, but I think the atmosphere and everything that was part of Barely Legal maybe puts it a little above this, but it's close. To me, it's definitely better than Hardcore Heaven or November to Remember. I don't think that's close. This crowd was we've had from a pay-per-view since the first one. And we had some stuff happen, and it ends on a good note. The only thing that's interesting is we don't get much of a payoff at the end. It's more setting up the next pay-per-view, which is interesting, because you just have to assume we're going to get Snow and Douglas there. So I guess the big payoff we got was Bigelow winning in his hometown. So it may not have been the main event. That's the big payoff to the show, and then we use it to set up the next one. But to me, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good show. I'm still waiting for that big-time classic ECW pay-per-view, though. Like, we haven't had it yet. Is it coming? Where's their 9.5 out of 10? You know there's going to be one in there somewhere.
I did the 8 out of 10. I just rated matches higher than you guys did. So for me, there's, a bunch of really good stuff that I really enjoyed, and I thought they did a lot better job at pacing out the stories before we got to another show. They're figuring that part out, and it shows. 8 out of 10, Matt.
Yeah, I did the 7.5. It's a good show, like you said. I'm with you. I think it's the second best one we've watched, behind probably Barely Legal. And you have a red hot angle that they fell ass backwards into with Al Snow. So it's
Yep.
kind of wild to see just how hot he's gotten. So yeah, 7.5.
All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks with 3 more episodes of TV to follow up to this. We'll start to march toward our May pay-per-view. Be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube if you're watching, and also follow us on northsouthconnection.com, which has all of our content, both audio and video. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Be sure to check out everything we have to offer. Continue to provide feedback as well. We appreciate all the love and support. Stay extreme, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.